Hello, friends, and welcome to our weekly connection call. This is our one time a month where we do a recording, and we have a special guest with us today. This is Jonay from a home office. I like exaggerated your name a little bit. It felt weird coming out. I'm gonna start over. This is Jonay from home office. We are so excited to have her today. She is going to be chatting with us about some really awesome things that we can all use. She is part of the training team at home office, and she is full of knowledge and expertise and just like fun. I was telling somebody the other day that I feel like you and I could be besties. I just like
Yeah.
your energy is so good. So anyway, if I
Oh,
start
good.
stalking you, that's why. It's because we're besties and you just didn't know
I
it.
love it. I love it. I definitely will be your bestie.
Perfect. All right. So with that, I'm just going to turn the time over to you. And guys, if you have questions, make sure you write them in the chat, and we will make sure that they get answered.
Yeah, I probably should pull up the chat. I didn't pull that up. Oh, just a second. Okay. Yes, I have it too. Well, hello. Just like Ariel said, I am on the training team at home office, and I'm really excited to be sharing with you all about sponsoring. I do want you all to know, just a little disclaimer, I'm coming off of being sick, so I still sound a little sick, but I'm doing well, and I didn't want to miss an opportunity to share with you guys. So I'm going to screen share here for a minute. And I titled this training, Each One, Reach One, the Power of Sponsoring, because each of you does have the ability to reach one more person through the power of sponsoring. And what I find is that a lot of times people just simply don't know how to tap into that power. So that's exactly what we're going to talk about today. I'm going to share all things sponsoring. I'm not holding back. Like it's a jam-packed training session today. So I hope that you guys take notes. If you have any questions, just like Ariel said, I'll keep going through, but we'll come back and address any questions at the end just to make sure that we stay on time for the training today. So first, before I get started, I would love for you guys to put in the chat, I just want you to pretend that I had a magic wand. And if I could wave this over your business and add any certain number of team members to your team by the end of April, because we're almost to April now. By the end of April, realistically, how many new team members would you want me to add to your team? I think it's really important that we put a number on it. Like how many, if I could just wave this and be like, boom, here's as many as you want. How many would you want? And my chat closed. I closed or once I started screen sharing. Okay. 8, 5, 4. I love it. I love it. Keep yours coming. One thing I always love to lead with when I'm talking about sponsoring is the most important thing when it comes to sponsoring, because I know if you take nothing else away from this call, this one thing is what's going to set you apart. And that is your story. I want you to remember that your Scentsy story is your secret sauce to sponsoring. It truly is. It doesn't matter how insignificant you think it is. It doesn't matter how silly it is. It really is your secret sauce. So we're going to dive a little bit more on that as we continue this training. But I want to share a little bit about my story with you, just to kind of share where I've come from and what I've seen with sponsoring. So 13 years ago, I was a young mom to 3 young girls. At the time, they were 5, 2, and 1 years old. So they were really little. And I fell in love with this product. My mother-in-law had come to visit. I loved this product she had. Now, at that time, that season of life for us, I was a stay-at-home mom with the kids. It really didn't make sense for me to work once I had our 3rd child. I was like, I'm basically going to be working to pay for childcare and gas to get to work. And it just didn't feel worth it. I'd rather barely make ends meet and spend that time with my kids. And so that's just what we opted to do. That's what we did at that time. My husband was the sole provider. And so when I fell in love with this product, I immediately knew there's no way I could afford it. Like we were broke. And when I say broke, like broke, like my husband would call me and make sure we had enough money in our account before he like stopped and got gum at the gas station. Like we literally had no extra money for anything. So when I saw it, I was like, I love it, but there's just no way I'll be able to have that. And my mother-in-law said to me, hey, this is actually one of those like party plan companies. So if you do a party, you can get it for free. Free was my favorite word when I was broke. You better believe I loved the word free. So when she said that, my ears perked up immediately. And I was like, oh, how do I do a party? Like, how do I do all that? And 13 years ago doesn't really seem that long in some ways, but it was forever ago when you think about how far technology has progressed. Because I remember I had to like actually pick up the phone and call the consultant and tell her that I wanted to do a party because I wanted this product for free. And she was so excited. She said, you live in Idaho and I'm in Tennessee, but you can call a catalog party. I just send you some catalogs, some order forms, a couple, basically like brochures and materials, and you collect orders from your friends. And then based off of their orders, you can get this product for free. I was like, okay, so cool. And she said, when you get it, open up the catalog, it'll explain the host rewards. Awesome. Okay. That consultant did something a couple days later that literally forever changed my life. She called me up and she said, hey, I just wanted to check and see if your catalog had come yet. And I said, oh no, the packet's not here yet. And she said, okay, no big deal. Hey, something I was thinking of though is you're going to be gathering all of the orders from your friends and family. You are essentially doing all of the work as a consultant would do. So if you, at any point in time you want to join, you could also get not just the free product you want, but you could also get the commission from all of your friends and family's orders. And I was like, so how does that work? And she's like, oh, it's a $99 kit to sign up. Okay, immediately I knew that this is something I wanted to do. Like, I'm going to be doing all the work. I want to get paid for it, right? I knew I wanted to do it, but I did not have $99 to sign up. So I told her I would think about it. I just knew that there's no way I could afford $99 extra. I was just like, there's no way. So we didn't have the cool, like you guys can like flip hostesses, like the host starter kit that they didn't have that. So I get the catalog packet, I open it up, and in the catalog, this time they had like consultants spotlighted in the catalog, and they would say like their why they joined the company, where they lived, how long they've been a consultant, and then they said their average monthly income. And I'm looking through these, and lo and behold, the person that I am doing the party with is in the catalog. And it says that her average monthly income is $11,000. $11,000. I'm going to take a minute to like talk about our income disclosure statement because I think it's really important that not everybody earns that kind of money, but I do want you to know that everybody has the potential to earn that kind of money. It's joining a gym. What you choose to do with your gym membership is completely on you. Same with when you join Scentsy. What you choose to do with it is completely on you. And it is the beauty of this business is that you're the CEO and you can take it and do whatever you want with it. But you can earn serious income. I thought when she told me I could earn some income for my friends and family, I thought I was going to get like $50, $100 maybe. Like I did not know you could earn that kind of money. So you guys, this is what I did. My jaw hit the floor when I was like, I know her and she's making this much money. And I didn't really know her. I just had been talking on the phone with her 2 times. So I called her back up. I was like, hey, Jennifer, I just want to let you know the catalog packet came. I'm so excited. And also, I see here that you make $11,000 a month. So I would just love to know how to do that. Looking back now, I can only imagine how I sounded. But this is what she said. She said, oh my gosh, I love when people ask me this question because I'm really passionate about it. I'm excited to help people earn income with this business. She said, I'm going to give you the exact steps to do it. Do you have a pen and paper? I was so excited. I grabbed a pen and a paper so fast. She said, I want you to write down 1. I said, 1. She said, then 2 is a 2 and 3. She's like, okay, because this is a 3-step system. She said, next to number 1, I want you to write sponsor. Next to number 2, I want you to write book. And next to number 3, I want you to write sell. And she said, here's what I'll tell you. If you follow the business with those as your priorities, sponsoring first, your number 1 focus, then booking, then selling, you will make significant money in this business. That is how people that make good money in this business do it. And I was like, okay, cool. Thanks. Bye. I just was like, got my information and I got out and I was so excited to go start earning some money. And what ended up happening, so I joined, and 9 I joined was our company's very first conference. And I was recognized at that conference for being a top, what we would call it, Scentsy certifier. Like I had, at my first 9 months in the business, certified 37 new team members. So I hadn't even been in for a year. I honestly didn't even know that that was a thing. I didn't know. I was focused on my why. I didn't know you could like earn recognition and reward. Like I didn't know that was a thing. And that doesn't even include the total number I sponsored. That was the people that sold their first $1,000. Why am I telling you this? I'm not telling you this because I want to brag. I want you to think that I'm so cool and I, I want all this recognition. Not at all. Why I'm telling you this is because if a young mom who absolutely had zero idea what I was doing, if I could do that in my first 9 months, imagine what you could do. There was nothing different about me. There was nothing special about me. And when I say I knew, I remember like one of my newer recruits called and she said, "Hey, how much commission do we earn?" I was like, "I don't know. Let me find out." That's a great one-liner. I don't know, but let me find out. And we'll talk about that in a minute too. But I just want you to be encouraged that your Scentsy story, you, is what's going to set you apart. And you can do this. The cool thing about this business is the top people that sponsor in our company. Think about the top people that sponsor at Scentsy. They're sponsoring 10, 15, 20 people a month, a lot of people a month. Guess what? They have the same starter kit to offer as you do. They have the same compensation plan to offer as you do, the same host rewards, the same product. They have everything to offer that you do. But the flip side of that is since we all have the same thing to offer, the one thing that's going to set you apart is your story. Oops, I forgot a slide. Your story. So we're going to talk about focusing your business from sponsoring, booking, selling, running your business in that order. Just that shift alone will make a huge impact on your business success. So let's talk about why to sponsor. I think it's important that we address the top 3 reasons on why this is going to help you be successful, why it helps you grow your business. Number 1, it's working smarter, not harder. Essentially, when you start your own Scentsy business, you're opening up your own storefront, right? And through sponsoring, you are leveraging synergy and multiplication, and you duplicate yourself. You're opening up more storefronts. So instead of you doing one party, let's say you do one party a week, think if you had 5 under you and you all are doing one party a week, that ends up compounding and adding up over time. And it really does yield significant results for you and your business. The second reason I want to share with you why you should sponsor is probably my favorite thing, is because you have the opportunity to leave a lasting impact by sharing a life-changing opportunity. Most of us had no idea that when we joined this business that we would get to travel to fun places, that we would meet amazing people, that we would be able to afford the opportunity to say yes to maybe an extra Starbucks, yes to maybe saving up for a couch you want, maybe yes to a dream vacation. It's not always about the money, but it's about what the money will do. And one thing I notice is that people tend to get tripped up on selling the journey versus selling the destination. And what I mean by that is if I wanted to bring you on a trip with me to the Bahamas, let's say Ariel, my new bestie, I'm like, "Hey, I really want to go to the Bahamas." Would it be in my benefit to sit and tell her, "Okay, this is what you need to do. You need to go get a passport. It's like $300. It's going to take a couple of weeks. It's kind of a pain. You also need to make sure you go to like a Walgreens or somewhere where you can get a passport photo taken. That's going to take an hour. You could walk around the store, do something. But once you get that, then you're going to mail that in with your application." And I said it's $300. It has to be a check. Make sure you do that. And then also the flight options that are the best are the best times are the most expensive. It's going to probably be about around $1,000, maybe $1,200. I just want to know though that's like a 7-hour flight. And then guess what? We're going to be at the Bahamas. Who wants to do that? I would opt out of that so quick, right? If I want Ariel to go on a trip with me to the Bahamas, this is what I'm going to be saying. I'm going to be like, "Hey, I think you and I both deserve a chance to get away. Like, let's go get away from kids, get away from our everyday life, go dip our toes in the warm sand, feel the sun, smell the salty sea breeze, listen to the waves. Like, I would love to have a drink in my hand with you on the ocean in the Bahamas. Is that something you'd want to do?" Yes, that's a lot more appealing than trying to sell you the plane ticket, right? And what I find is that the Scentsy starter kit, that is the vehicle to get to the destination. It is an awesome vehicle, right? We love our starter kits, but starter kits shouldn't be the main focus or the spotlight of the opportunity. And here's why. First of all, remember when I told you guys I didn't have $99? Well, guess what? I found it. How did I find it? To this day, I don't know. But here's one thing I know about human psychology is that if the value outweighs the cost, they will find a way to come up with that money. And $99 is significant. I was somebody that didn't have it to sign up. But if I could buy into the value of, oh my gosh, that this is what it has, you find a way to come up with it. So I want you to remember that anytime we have a join promo or any kind of promotions around sponsoring, those should solely be conversation starters. They're great to share as a conversation starter, but it shouldn't be what you get hung up on or what you really focus on sharing. You should share about the life-changing opportunity that this business has to offer, incentives that they get to earn, the Scentsy community. I mean, Scentsy spirit, you guys. I know you guys have been here for a long time probably, and you guys are so used to it, but as somebody that's only been here for a year, it is incredible. Like, I know we really can't ever put it into words. It's something you really do have to feel. But I will tell you something that made me be like, wow, this is a really freaking amazing company, is I heard you guys had hypergrowth during 2020. You guys are a fragrance company. It blew my mind that a fragrance company had hypergrowth during a year where the world could not smell. Like what? What? If that doesn't show you that Scentsy special, I don't know what else could. Like there is something really special at Scentsy, and I want to make sure that you are offering that you're sharing that you're talking about that. Again, not always the money, but even the flexibility. When there was a season in my business where I spent 8 months working from the hospital. I have a sister that she was a young single mom at the time, and she had a 2-year-old, and my sister was really young. She was only 22. She had a 2-year-old, and the 2-year-old was diagnosed with brain cancer, and she needed somebody. She needed somebody there. And me being able to be there with her for 8 months and my business didn't skip a beat, there's no way I could ever put a price tag on that. That was invaluable. So I want you to remember that this business could be the blessing that somebody else has been praying for. Okay, that's so much more than the starter kit, so much more than a join promo or just the wax and warmers. And I want you to keep that in mind because you have this gift to offer to other people. Okay, third reason that you should recruit is grow your income. I throw this in here because we know from the Direct Selling Association statistics that the #1 reason people join direct sales is for income. And so if that's you, if we know that most join for that and that's you, then I want to make sure we talk about this because parties are your paycheck. That is, if you want a consistent paycheck, make sure you're consistently partying. But if you join this business to grow income, remember that recruits are your retirement. Recruiting and sponsoring is how you build wealth in this business model. And it'll always be that way. Recruit, book, sell in that order if you want to grow your income, especially. Okay. So now you know why. Here's the top 3 reasons, or those are the top 3 reasons why I want to talk about what holds us back. Because I think as human beings, we get really caught up in what I call stinking thinking, and we hold ourselves back, honestly. And so I wanted to, there's a lot of reasons out there why people don't sponsor, they struggle to sponsor, but I want to share the top ones I hear and kind of like get some obstacles out of the way for sponsoring for you. So #1 I hear is, what if I lose my best customer? And this is completely valid because if you look at it on paper, you're kind of like, the math ain't mathin'. Like, wait a minute. So I'm going to have my best customer go from me earning 25% to now me earning a much smaller percentage, her as a team member. Like, how does that make sense? And you're worried that if you lose that customer, you're going to lose all of her friends and family that maybe are your customers as well. Well, one thing I want to encourage you is that if you're worried about that, you almost are probably operating more from a scarcity mindset instead of an abundant mindset. And another thing to know is that typically we know that our best customers become the best team members. Why? Because they're already familiar with the product. Most best customers host for you. Let me know annually, how many times does your best customer host for you? Put it in the chat. How many times annually does your best customer host? This person is typically already familiar. Yeah, Errol, 2 is typical. 2 is what we hear like once every catalog season, typically. Kaylin said 1, 0 to 1. We know that if they've had a party with us, they're familiar with how the business runs and works, what a party is. They clearly love the product. And we can see that a lot of times those best customers end up being your best team members. They go from doing what they were doing annually as a customer to doing monthly or even weekly as a team member. So it actually is going to serve you well to add them to your team. And over time, it's going to compound, it's going to multiply, because that's just the way the business works. So second reason I hear that people are afraid to sponsor or don't want to sponsor is because you think you have to know it all. Remember, don't forget my story. I literally knew nothing. But let me assure you, you do not need to know all of the ins and outs of this business. You do not need to know, all the terminology and the ins and outs of the compensation plan. And you don't need to know all that. And actually, it serves you a little better not knowing that information. And here's why. When you know, the more you want to share. So people like me who know, now I've been years into direct sales and I know a lot more about it. It's hard for me to hold back. I want to share everything with everyone. And guess what? An overwhelmed mind says no. An overwhelmed mind will shut down and say no every single time. And if you don't believe me, you can test it. Test it in your email marketing. This will apply across all things with your business. If you are simple, you have like one email, one purpose, one text, one purpose, one post, one purpose. If you're going in with a post and you're saying, oh, hey, here's our set and warmer of the month. Also, you join my club. Also, those should be 3 different posts, 3 different emails. Okay. Because an overwhelmed mind doesn't know where to focus and they just shut down. And what tends to happen is people that know it all, they share it all. And it seems too good to be true to the recipient because they're like, wait, so I'm going to eat brownies, smell stuff with friends, have new girlfriends, hang out around a coffee table, and I'm going to get paid? Like, no, that doesn't work like that. Like, that's too good to be true. And they automatically dismiss it. So it actually helps you if you don't know it all. And I hope it also kind of serves as a reminder to make sure that you keep it simple when you're talking about the business opportunity. Also, the one-liner I mentioned earlier is, I don't know, but I can find out. One thing I know to be true at Scentsy is that you have a sponsor, a director, an SSD, and consultant support that is an entire team of people here to help you. And if you sponsor someone and they ask you a question, it's as simple as saying, I don't know, but I'll find out. That's that simple. I can promise you, you have an entire support team of people here that will help you. Okay, the third reason I hear that people don't want to sponsor, and if any of these 3 reasons so far have resonated with you or been a reason that you've held yourself back from sponsoring, I'd love for you to put that in the chat. But number 3 is you don't want to bug anyone. You don't want to be pushy or, be annoying anyone. And here's what I'll tell you with this. First of all, if you're already mindful of not being that pushy person, then you're not going to be that person. Because people that are pushy and annoying, they're not worried about being pushy. They're just naturally that way. So if you're already mindful of it, you're not going to be that person to do that. You won't. Typically, it also shows us that your focus is on the wrong person. You're worried about how you look, how you sound, how you seem, or how you appear to other people. Instead of thinking about, this is a life-changing opportunity that this person might have been hoping for, wishing for, praying for. You never know anybody's behind the scenes circumstances. Maybe somebody's been looking for a fun way to get out of the house and meet new people. Maybe somebody's been feeling lonely and depressed and desperate for community. Like, we just never know anybody's behind the scenes circumstances. And I will tell you, I am forever grateful that somebody bugged me enough to say, hey, you could earn commission on this too. Forever. I don't even know how different my life would be if she never would have had the guts to say, hey, you could be a consultant and you could earn commission. Like, I am forever grateful. So think about that it's almost selfish not to share it. It's almost selfish. It's not bugging somebody. It's making the decision for them, essentially. If you're not letting them decide on their own, you're selfishly making for them. So I want to encourage you, make sure that you are asking everyone and letting them decide. Okay, moving on. So we're going to kind of shift gears a little bit here. So we talked about what you need, or not what you need, why you should sponsor, things that hold us back. And I want to share with you guys two things that I always say these are the two things that are going to really boost and enhance your sponsoring efforts. So these kind of two things, like I want you to picture like Mario Brothers, like, you know, the mushroom, these are kind of like your mushrooms. They're going to like make you bigger and enhance all of your efforts that you put into sponsoring. Number one is confidence. Confidence is a big component of successful sponsoring. And here's why. If you have somebody come to you or talking to you about the business opportunity and you are not confident in our business model, you're not confident in direct sales, you're not confident in Scentsy as a company, you might use words like, well, you know, you could just try it out and see if it works for you. Like, I love it, it's great for me, but you know, you just see for yourself. Or, you know, I'm not really sure if you can make like that kind of money, but you could try, or we could talk to my director. Here's the thing. If we put that in a different perspective, like if we use a different analogy for that, let's say the trip to the Bahamas with Ariel. If her and I were getting on the plane and the pilot was like, I think I can get us there. Like, I don't know for sure, but I think so. Like, you should just try, just get on and just hop on board and let's just see if we get there. Do you think I'm getting on that plane? No, I am not getting on that plane. And the same thing translates with your business. If you're sharing about it and you're not confident in it, then people are going to not be as confident to join you. But if you're like, yes, you should join this company. Scentsy is incredible. We have an amazing core values. We have an incredible mission. We have a sales field filled with the best people. We have a fun and flexible way you can earn money. You'd almost be silly not to join. That's somebody I want to join. I want to join somebody that is confident in what she's offering and what they're talking about, right? So keep that in mind. Oh, by the way, I did put little 2 notes here for if you're somebody that's struggling with confidence. Again, I don't want you to confuse confidence with knowledge, because you don't have to know it all. But I will say knowledge will enhance your confidence. So if you feel like I'm just not really confident in the way our business model works, then what you should do is go learn about it. Go spend time asking your SSD questions. Go look through the training section of the workstation. The more you learn, it will boost your confidence and build your confidence. One of the best ways to grow your knowledge is to ask other people about their Scentsy stories and how Scentsy's changed their life and made an impact or made it different. That's going to boost your confidence so much. So go learn. If you feel like I'm just struggling to build confidence, go learn. That will definitely build it. The second way you can build your confidence is by practicing it. I remember when live videos came out. This is going to really age how long I've been on social media, but Periscope was the first social media app that was like a live video. And I remember I got on it because all my friends, it was a thing, and I would watch everyone else go live, but I was not going live. And I said, I will never, ever go live. Never say never, because there came a time and season of my business where Facebook Live was a thing and I needed to figure out how to do it. I needed to show up a Facebook Live for my team and for my customers. And it was scary. It was terrifying, my first ones. But guess what? The more I did it, the more confident I got, the easier it got. And you'll find the same thing with the business opportunity. The more you share about it, the more you're having joint conversations, the more it's going to boost your confidence in the business and in the company. Okay, so number one is confidence. The second thing is authenticity. And this is a huge core value for us at Scentsy, but also it goes back to your story and tying that in, because people are going to join you far before they join Scentsy as a company. I want you to remember this. Products don't recruit people. Paper doesn't recruit people. Catalogs and brochures, Happy Mail, none of that recruits people. People recruit people. Conversations, relationships, that's what recruits people. And in this day and age where it's so easy to copy and paste what everyone else is doing, I want to challenge you to like go against the flow and post your own content. Say things in your wording. I'm all about working smarter, not harder. And sometimes it is easier to use other people's pictures. Fine, but put your wording on it. Make sure that you're not letting other people's content replace your authenticity. Your authenticity should definitely be shining in all of your joint conversations, but in all of your relationship building, because that's how people are going to get to know you, trust you, and then that's when they'll want to join you. Okay, so let's talk about how to sponsor. So you have all this information, but like, what is the nitty gritty? Like, how do I do it? Right? Okay, this is exactly how to do it. You ask 10 people for every one recruit you want. That's literally how to do it. Not rocket science, but again, the beauty of this business, it's simple. It is a simple business model. We know from statistically that 1 in 10 say yes. So that means you need to ask 10 people for every one recruit you want. So for those of you that want 2 recruits a month, that's 20 people, 20 conversations you're having a month. I like to break it down weekly. Let's go with the 2 just for easy numbers, because I always say I don't do math in public, and then I end up having to do math in public. But if you wanted to sponsor 2 new people a month, that'd be 20 conversations a month. That's 5 a week. So you could do 1 Monday through Friday, or 5 every Friday, 10 every Tuesday. It doesn't matter, however you want to do it. It just ends up being this numbers game that you need to make sure you're tracking them so you can follow up, because not everyone's going to respond right away. We want to be following up. And what I really want to encourage you to do is focus on connected conversations. And how that's different is, instead of just saying, hey, we have this new starter kit this month, is this something you'd be interested in? That's not going to elicit a response. If you're, first of all, a connected conversation is when you reach out to somebody, they respond back to you. It's connected. You want to focus on connected conversations, and it will change your approach and your wording, because you're trying to bring out a response. You're trying to get them to respond back to you. So you're not just copying and pasting a bunch of hey girl messages. You are going back to past customers, anyone that's purchased with you, and say, hey, checking in with them, seeing how it's going. People that have a club, and say, by the way, you're the kind of person I would love to have on my team. I see that you're so busy out there in the soccer fields, and I think that this would be a great product for you to share while you're on the go. It's a fun and flexible way to earn income. You're asking these people, but you're having conversations and building relationships with them. Okay, so focus on connected conversations. Speaking of connected conversations, I want you to keep in mind the words you use when you're talking about the join opportunity, because the words you use are either going to hurt you or they're going to help you. And what I mean by that is, if you get so caught up with sharing about the $35 join promo, well, what ends up happening is you become a kit dealer that's attracting a bunch of people that want a really good deal. They want the product, they want a good sale, right? But if you're somebody that, and I believe everyone on here is somebody that wants to grow their team, because you don't just get on a Zoom about sponsoring because you wanted to, or just for fun. You get on because you're interested in this topic. So that's why I'm kind of assuming all of you on here are somebody that wants to grow your team. And you don't want to just grow your team with a bunch of people that just want the kit. You want to grow your team with people that are like you, that are interested in the business, that are going to hop on a Zoom training that your leader provides and grow your team, right? So what I want you to think of is, if you were trying to attract a tiger, you're going to need to use some meat, okay? If you want to attract a cat, you're going to throw out some cat nibble. If we're talking about the join conversation, cat nibble is more like the kit, the kit contents. You're all about the kit, how much it is, how much they're saving. But if you want to attract a team member, your wording is going to sound a little bit more like, hey, I'm looking for people that want to start a business that can do 1 to 2 parties a week. You're changing your wording, and it's going to change their expectations when they sign up. Because what happens is we bring people in for a join promo, and they think that all they have to do is talk about join promos to recruit, which is not true. We know that you need to be recruiting, booking, and selling to grow your business, but they are doing what they saw you do, and then they're wondering why it doesn't work. So if you go into it and you're setting the expectation up front in your conversations, hey, I'm looking for my next leader that wants to earn an all-exclusive trip. Who is interested? You're changing your wording, you're changing the expectation, and you're going to start attracting some tigers. Okay, so I want you to be encouraged to use meat instead of cat nibble. Okay. Now you're probably wondering, great, I have some good sponsor tips, good things to implement, but who do I sponsor? Like, I'm not sure where to even start on the people. Well, the 2 best places that you can sponsor, the best place to find prospects for sponsoring, are at the party and on social media. So we're going to talk a little bit about both of these. First, the party. And I want you to know that when I say party, it could be virtual, it could be in person, it could be on the go, any type of party. Okay. First, your host is always your best recruiting prospect. Number one, should be the number one prospect for recruiting at the party. Why? Because first of all, she's getting a behind the scenes look through hosting on what this entails, to like what it would be to run a business. So again, her expectations are in a better spot than just, a customer that's never done a party. Not that they can't be, but this person already is getting almost training for being a team member because they're seeing your host coaching. We know that they can gather some people together. Gather some people together to shop, whether that's online or in her home or at a restaurant, because she's doing that to have a party, right? We know she loves the product because she's having a party. Like these should all be huge, huge flags of next team member, next team member, next team member. Okay. She's always your next team member. So what I want you guys to do is take a page from the book that my sponsor did, and I want you to plant the seed immediately. As soon as I send Ariel a party packet, I'm going to say, hey, I want you to know I put in there a little bit of information about joining my Scentsy team. And if at any point you want to join my team, I would love to send you more information, just something to think about. So we're just planting the seed so that as she's going through the catalog and looking through the materials, now it's kind of like the blue car theory. If you say blue car, now you start seeing blue cars everywhere. It's like that. I said join. Now I want her to see the join opportunity everywhere throughout all of the stuff that she's seeing. I want her to be noticing the starter kits. I want her to be noticing all of the consultant pictures and people having fun. And I want her, it's really just planting the seed. Okay. So we're planting the seed. I'm not really you don't have to ask for her to join right here, but you really want to make sure you at least plant the seed. The second thing is a day or two before the party. The second thing you want to say to her is, hey, Ariel, I'm going to be booking some parties tonight at your party with your friends and family. And so have you had any chance to think about joining my team? Because if you are, I would love these to be your first parties. We could set you up for success. You'll earn commission off of this party tonight. And then you'll also have some job security with future parties. Is that something you've thought about? Basically, again, letting her know, hey, I'm going to be doing more parties with your friends and family. They could be yours. Also, just a little onboarding tip. You definitely want to be booking because of that, because I think that's a huge way I helped people sponsor or certify was I would book parties off their parties and give them those parties. So then they had their launch party and one or two other parties to go do immediately. And it definitely helped them hit the PRV that they needed. So again, planting the seed, but also asking like, hey, have you thought more about it? It's a great way to make sure that you're keeping the joint opportunity front of mind for your host. And then for you as the consultant, you want to keep sponsoring your main focus during the party. It is so easy to go into a party with, I would say, like your sales glasses on. So you view everything from the lens of selling more. And here's what we know about the product. It sells. You don't really have to even try to sell it. It sells. Like everyone loves Scentsy. There is something for everyone in Scentsy, and I love that. And what happens is if you are focused on sales and you hear a conversation between two friends and somebody says, oh my gosh, I love this warmer, but I just can't afford it right now. If you are thinking sales wise, you're going to be thinking of what bundle and saves for her. And you're going to be thinking, how can I get her the best deal with this, right? If you go in there with your booking glasses on and you're focused on booking, you're going to be talking to her. Your conversation with her might be like, hey, if you have a party, we can get you this free or half price. But if you go in there with your sponsoring glasses on and you're listening and hearing and seeing everything through a sponsoring filter, when you hear that she can't afford that, you're going to offer her the business opportunity. And your conversation will be different. It will be something like, hey, I heard that you love this and you can't afford it. I did want to know if you ever have thought about joining my Scentsy team. It's a fun and flexible way to earn income. And I can promise you in a couple of months, you're going to have Scentsy out your ears. It magically grows in our closet. I don't know how it happens. Magically multiplies. But it changes your conversation with her and with all the party guests. Okay. So keeping that in mind, that try and listen to every conversation through the sponsoring filter. Okay, second, this really helps me with sponsoring at the party with party guests. So I'm going to share it with you guys. It's called the Backwards Party. And I'm a little over a year out of practice from being a consultant. So give me a little bit of grace, but I'm going to basically show you guys how I would start every single party. And I'm not even talking about just in person. I did this in person as well. But when, through all of COVID and stuff, everything had to be online. You can do this on Zoom. You can do this as a live video on a Facebook party. You can do this and record it, put it on YouTube and just post the link. Make sure you're putting it at the front of the party. You could do it in a text party, again, a recorded video that you're sending the link to, but it's called the Backwards Party, and it dramatically helped me with sponsoring. Okay, so what I would do is I thank everyone for joining. I thank Ariel, our host, for having everyone here. And I would say, okay, before everyone starts smelling in love with everything, I want to make sure I talk to you guys about all of the things that Scentsy has to offer. And what I want you guys all to do is open your catalog to the very back, because I don't believe in saving the best for last. I want to share the best thing we have to offer with you first. So if you go to the back of our catalog, you will see on page 60 and 61, this is all about joining. The best opportunity I could ever offer you with Scentsy is the opportunity to earn some free products, to earn lots of different ways. There's so many ways. I couldn't go into that all tonight. But why I want to draw your attention to this tonight is I want you to see, all of you have a front row seat to just watch just how easy and fun my job is. And if this is something you could picture yourself doing a couple nights a month, then I would love to send you information about joining my team. Also, something to keep in mind as you're smelling things and loving the products, if your wish list becomes 10 or more items, I want you to come back to this as well, because if you have a wish list of 10 or more items, then being a teammate of mine is definitely going to be the best opportunity for you. The second best opportunity I have for you is at the front of our catalog. This is the opportunity to save. As a host, just like Ariel is doing here tonight, she's going to be saving on everything on her wish list. So if you have a wish list of 5 or more items, then definitely check out our host rewards. You can do a party just like Ariel is doing today, and you can get those items for free. And the last opportunity I have for you is the opportunity to shop. The wonderful thing about Scentsy is that we have something for everyone. We know that people tend to shop most for you, yourself, and for your family, and you will find that we have something for everyone in all 3 of those categories. And then you could go on from there, but basically I wanted to show you guys how you kind of transition from talking about the opportunity all the way to talking about the sale. And if you notice what I focus on first, sponsoring, booking, then selling. Again, I want to tell you the top 2 reasons, I guess, that I love doing the Backwards Party. Again, planting the seed. This is really getting them all to start looking through all of this as through a sponsoring filter or through a join filter. But also, I said, watch how easy and fun my job is. And if you could see yourself doing this, I would love to have you on my team. Like, I'm giving them a new filter to look at what I'm doing. Look how easy it is. Look how fun it is. Look how I'm not perfect at it. Look how I don't know every fragrance name. I don't know every warmer name. And actually, don't be too perfect, because then that makes them be like, I could do that. She does it. I could do it too. And again, so that's number 1 reason I love it, is because it's planting the seed, getting them thinking about it. The second reason I love the Backwards Party is because it doesn't matter if you're in person or online. Party engagement is always high in the beginning. So like at a home party, if you can capture their attention for a minute and share about stuff, but then as people start talking, engagement starts going, you end up cutting off other things that you were going to say. So if you were saving the sponsoring opportunity to talk about at the very end of your little presentation, guess what's going to get cut first? The sponsoring opportunity. So if you lead with that first, oh my gosh, then it's just like you're there, it's done, it's over with. You talked about the best thing first, right? Another thing is that if you're somebody that's shy to share about the business opportunity, then this will serve you really well, because it gets that hardest thing over with first. Everything from there is going to be like sliding down a mountain. It's going to be smooth sailing from there. You got the hardest thing to talk about over with first. So especially if you're someone that's shy to share about it, lead with that. Also, I didn't talk about this for interaction on if you're on a Facebook party, you'll notice the same thing, is that the engagement and interactions a lot higher on those first few posts. So you want to make sure that you are putting that at the beginning, the join opportunity at the beginning of your Facebook parties. Okay. Also, when it comes to parties, you want to ask every guest, every single one. So every time you send a thank you for purchasing, give them a chance to earn commission as well. Give them a chance to say yes or no to the business opportunity. So if they ordered online, you could send a follow-up text, or if they are you're in person, you could ask them while you're helping them get their order entered. It's totally up to you, but you want to make sure you ask every single guest. Remember, you need 10, you need to ask 10 for every one you want. So the more you ask, the more likely you're going to get your one. And I think that's also a good expectation to know, because it's going to feel like everyone's saying no, because 9 are not. 9 are saying no. And that's okay. I just want you to not be discouraged by that, but expect it. Because when you expect it, then you start to learn that no is just means next opportunity. It's not no like, oh my gosh, nobody wants to join. It's no, it wasn't right for this person, but I got to keep asking to get to my one that's going to say yes. Next one is really important if you're a virtual partier, because one thing I found is that a lot of times hosts will add people to a Facebook party event and 5 order. Well, what happens to the other 45 people? Where do they go? Do you let them slip through the cracks? Don't let them slip through the cracks. That is a warm lead for you. They joined the party page. That is a warm lead for you. So I have a text example here, but you could just say something like, thank you for attending this virtual party. If this is something you'd be interested in, yada, yada, yada. You can take a screenshot of it just for time. I don't want to, and I can send these slides to Ariel too, but make sure you don't let any party guests slip through the cracks, because the worst thing that's going to happen, and I've had this happen, is somebody was on one of your parties and then they end up having a party with someone else or joining somebody else's team. And it was on me because I didn't follow up the way I should have with every party guest, even those that didn't order. Okay, and then at the end of the day, when it comes to sponsoring at the party, just again, reminder, I know I've talked about this before, but remember that it's not your job to assume. It's your job to invite them, to share it with them, and it's their job to accept or decline your invite. That's really it. I don't want you to think like, oh, she probably would never do this because she's a brain surgeon. Why would she want to? No, I've had a brain surgeon on my team before. People join for all sorts of reasons. You never know. Never assume. Okay, let's talk about social media for a second, and then we'll wrap up. So social media is another great place for you to prospect for recruits. And what's great about it is it's literally like a network of people at your fingertips. Back, like when I first joined, and just how much direct sales has progressed. Like if we wanted to network with people and find leads, we'd have to go do vendor events. We were having to go do parties and get outside the house. Literally from your couch, you have a network of people at your fingertips, and it's free. Social media is free. So there's a few ways that you can leverage it to make sure that you're using it to grow your team. The number one way, I think, is through your close customer group. If you don't have a closed Facebook group, I highly recommend it, because it's kind of an area, it's kind of like your own little clubhouse where you can share all of the latest and greatest with Scentsy. But what I want you to remember is don't forget to share about the business opportunity. I get added to a ton of Facebook groups, and it's incredible. Most of them are only wax and warmers, only talking about the LTOs, only talking about scent warmer of the month, not sharing about that life-changing business opportunity that we talked about. An easy way, and I don't know if Ariel or Maggie could facilitate this, but an easy way I used to share in a closed group is I would start a thread in my team page, and I would say, it's a Testimony Tuesday, and it was like Team Testimony Tuesday. Shout out below, put a picture of you and your why. Shout out below how Scentsy has changed your life, and have them do that. And then, and with everyone's permission, you can put on like, with everyone's permission, can we share these in closed groups? And then, we'd get a thread of like 25 people or 25 stories. That was 25 content like posts for me. And I would go spotlight that. I would do like a team spotlight in my customer page and share like, here's how Scentsy has impacted my friend Ariel's life, and put a picture, whatever picture she used in her comment, and then the wording she used. And I would just share that same thing in my customer group. And what that helps do is it helps resonate. First of all, reviews and testimonies are powerful. There's a huge reason why most of us go, when we're on Amazon, we go check out the reviews before we decide if that's what we're going to buy. And of course, you're going to only say good things about it in your close customer group, right? So when they see somebody else with a positive, impactful story, it resonates with them a little bit differently. And it is that social proof that you really need that's going to help boost all of your sponsoring efforts. So it's a great way to spotlight different whys, and just even the spectrum of why people join or why they've stayed or the impact that it's made on their life. It's actually really powerful. And my customers loved it. It was really great. So that's something you could, even if you just did one a week, that'd be, if you had 20 posts and you did one a week, that's 20 weeks of content you could schedule out in your Facebook group. But one thing I want you to remember is The top 3 reasons people join are for income, product, and community. So even if you just did one a week spotlighting, and then, have a random one for maybe talking about what is going on, like a join promo. Remember, join promos are for conversation starters. So you're using it for that. You're not just only talking about starter kits, but this is a great way to spread out different reasons why people might join and in different spotlights. Remember, overwhelmed mind shuts down. So spotlight just the income for one post, and then spotlight product, spotlight the community and the Scentsy spirit. Okay, so there's different ways you can do it, but make sure you're not forgetting about the business opportunity in your closed group. You never know, you might have someone that's been there for years, but this is the right time for them to join. You never know who it's going to resonate with. Okay, so now let's move on to the other side of social media, which is your public presence on social media. And I don't want to step on any toes. I've never went and looked I've never done any Facebook stalking of any of your profiles, but I want to give you guys some best practices for if you wanting to be sponsoring more through your public side of social media. And one thing I would encourage you to do is start talking about the business more. Start showing how you run it as a business, how you do it as a business. It could be something like, hey, here are 3 ways I found prospects for parties this month. Here's how I'm sending out my Happy Meal. Here's how I ship from home. You're just showing all your behind the scenes. And what it does is at first, it lets your audience know that, wow, this is a legit business. It also, anybody that's considering joining your team, it lets them know that, okay, you actually run it as a business. You are invested in this as a business. You're not going to be somebody that I sign up under and I never hear from again. So it's kind of validating your position and your expertise in this industry. Even if you feel like you're not an expert, you are, I promise you. You are an expert because you're a Scentsy consultant, so you're a Scentsy expert. Oh shoot, I lost my train of thought. So I don't even remember where I was at. Okay, anyways, you want to talk about why, or just business in general. Business, here's how I invited hosts on my party. Here's a behind the scenes look at my last virtual party. Behind the scenes look at my home party. Oh, I know what I was going to say. The other thing is it sets the expectation for people that might be wanting to join. Because if you're only posting wax and warmers and somebody joins your team and they're like, well, I thought to sell and recruit, all I had to do was post wax and warmers. We know that to not be true. We know that there's a lot that goes on the end of it. There's a lot of conversations and relationship building. There's a lot more that goes to it than just posting wax and warmers. And truthfully, mostly wax and warmer posts don't get a whole lot of results. I mean, occasionally, if it's a really good LTO, it's not that they never do, but it takes more work than just posting. Posting is like a passive way to market and share, but really an active way to be marketing sharing is through the one-on-one conversations and through relationship building. But I would encourage you to do a little bit of a self-audit on your public profile and kind of put on a new eyes, pretend that you were a brand new person stumbling upon this page. If you were to scroll through your page as a brand new person who's never seen you, never met you, never known you, would you know that you had an incredible life-changing opportunity to share? Would you know that? Or would you think that this person just sells wax and warmers? Look through it and seriously think about that. How are you conveying that in your content? How are you showing up and sharing the life-changing opportunity and aspect of this business, the freedom, the flexibility, the fun? How are you conveying that in your content? When you create something people want to join, they want to join you. But if you're only selling things, that actually turns people off because they're like, I don't want to just be selling to my friends and family all day. I don't want to just my feed to be only wax and warmers. I don't want to be selling to them like that. And so if you could be doing yourself a disservice by only posting sale when we have LTOs and join promos, that could be actually doing you a disservice because you're making somebody that could be considering it think, I don't know if I want to do that. I don't want to be posting as much as she posts about wax and warmers. So make sure that your content isn't solely Scentsy content and that you're talking about the business opportunity. Okay, we covered a lot. And I know I talked really fast because last night I did the same training last night and I went over a little bit. So tonight I was like, or not tonight, today I was like, I need to make sure I don't do that again. So I know I talked a mile a minute, but we did cover why you should recruit, what you need to recruit, how to recruit, who to recruit. And now before we get off, I want to take a moment and I want to ask you guys to dream a little bit with me. I want you guys to imagine that you take something away from this and you start sponsoring 2 people. You just start asking one person every day. So it's 2 people every month. Okay, I want you to look at what your business organization could look like by the end of this catalog. Before this catalog is done, by the end of August, this is what your business could look like. But if we dream a little bit bigger and we say you stick with it and you stay consistent with that. Remember, sponsoring takes consistent work. Recruits don't land in your lap. They don't come knocking down your door. I wish they did, but that's rare. That doesn't happen often. It's going to take a lot of intentionality on your part. And let's say you stick with it and you stay consistent. You're building relationships. You're asking one person every day. Take a look at what your business could look like in October. Would you love to go into holiday prime shopping season with an organization that looked like this? Heck yeah, that'd be awesome. That'd be awesome. Duplicating all of this with the holiday shopping season. Yes, please. Okay, one last one. Let's dream a little bit bigger. I want you to imagine March 27th, 2025, a year from now. This is what your organization could look like if you stay consistent, asking one person a day, 5 days a week to join your team. And this isn't even taking into consideration if you sponsor people and you teach them to do that as well. This is only based off of your personal recruits. Think about if you have 2 or 3 other people that are doing it as well, what your organization could lead to. So I hope this paints a picture of how this is leveraging that synergy, that multiplication, and you start to duplicate yourself. It starts compounding and it starts getting really big, and it's really, really exciting, and it's really fun to grow your team. I think that we all have amazing whys and reasons that we joined, but it is something special when you start seeing that impact on other people's lives. And it all stemmed from you having the courage to share about the business opportunity. Okay, one last thing, pop off. I end every training with this action plan because honestly, quite frankly, this will be a waste of an hour of your time if you take this information and you do nothing with it. I do not want this to be like an information overload for you. I want you to pick one thing, just one thing that I shared today that you can take and implement into your business. It might be something you've heard 1,000 times, but today it just resonated with you a little different, or something about it sparked some excitement for you. It can be anything. It could be something new you've never heard before. But I would love for you guys to share and declare it in the chat. Put it in the chat so we can see. It's a little accountability, but also we want you to implement. I wanted to share all this information with you so you can take action and implement it and start growing your team. Kaylin, I hope I'm saying your name right. Backwards Party, love it. Love it, love it. What else? Put it in the chat. And I was not looking at the chat. It was on my other screen. So Ariel, did you catch any questions? And does anyone have any questions? Ask every guest. Love it.
Yeah, there were no extra questions in the chat.
Okay, no extra questions. Okay, if anyone has any questions, I think we have 2 minutes. So if you have any questions about anything we shared or anything I didn't share that you want to know about.
And if there are questions that come up afterward, you guys just let us know and we'll get those questions to Jonae and then we'll share the answers.
Yeah.
Cool. And if you're like ruminating on this, thinking, okay, that would have been a good question, because that's how I am.
Yeah, me too.
I don't think of things in the moment.
Yep.
And I also have conversations later as well. And I
Yep.
nail those conversations every time afterward. Yeah.
You're doing the work. So you have. Yeah. I love it, Ashley. I love it. Thank you guys so much for having me. I can stop sharing now, I guess.
Jonae, we really
guys
appreciate
can
your time. You are so
Of
wonderful.
course, you guys can probably tell I love sponsoring. I get very excited and passionate about it. You probably could tell, but I really do appreciate you guys asking me. And I just want to do a little shout out to you guys, because to Maggie and Ariel, because there's a lot of leaders and companies that never ask for that extra training. It's a really big deal that you guys are doing that for your team. And I think it's just a shout out to you guys that you guys care enough about your team to try and continue their learning and education and skill development in the business. So kudos to you guys.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much. And if you are watching this for the recording, if you have questions, let us know. And I plan to watch this again because I took so many notes, but I think I need to like take it again. And so feel free to watch it more than one time. You are not limited. And let us know what you do end up implementing, because I love what you just said. Share and declare it. Like, you're going to do the things and we want to cheer you on too. So you guys, thank you again so much. I hope you all have an awesome week, and we'll talk to you guys soon. Bye, guys.
Thanks,
Bye, everyone.
Renee. Bye.
Yeah.